different levels to resonation in terms of how you understand something, what it means to you, how it makes you feel, like stuff like that, right? So it's just different levels to it. And so anywho, um, yeah, men just have a hard time with that. And this is one of those times where like men have to kind of really all stand up and say, this is some bullshit. Because that same thing could happen, especially if you're a black guy, that could happen to any one of us. And what we're starting to see more and more is how much of a liability a relationship is with a modern woman. Because for the most part, modern women have this thing where they think that women have this shit where they want to experience everything. I heard this once a few years ago. I heard this quote where men don't understand that women want to experience all emotions, and they will make it a point. If she's not careful, she will find herself basically going on an adventure of exploring different emotions at your expense. Okay, and for her the way it feels is like it's kind of like being like looking at porn on your phone. It's like if you don't have any discipline, you can be on your phone all day looking at porn, right? Sir, please turn that down. Like he just want me to get a copyright strike. That's what he wants. He won't stop. He's not satisfied, so he over there playing Wolves by Kanye West. But like I was saying, Congresswoman, I see what you're doing. She's looking out for the Latinas. She knows that first of all, Latino people are producing at an extremely high rate, to the point where there really probably is enough bad Latinas to go around for everyone, because they really got too much. I realize that's another reason why like they don't mind dating their brothers too, because they really it's too many Latinas. There's too many of them to get them all like married off. So they actually probably, because they be having a lot of kids. So they really be having a surplus of baddies that's just available. You know what I'm saying? Don't sleep, because when you sleep you dreaming, and if you dreaming, your chick getting pumped full of.
You was watching tables. You was waiting.
Bitch, you was waiting for me. 6-pack shit. I really hope that I'll be so mad at the audio when I'm being bad, but oh well. Anywho, so let's get it. So what's the next slide we got here? So hopefully I don't have this all out of order, but this might have been, I thought this might have been from the day before, but Representative Luna drops bombshell affidavit claiming Kelsey Harris fired the gun, not Tory. So if you guys don't know, the evidence they have now, it's based off a testimony from someone who was there, right? Who was the bodyguard for Kelsey, for Kelsey, and so this says this is the new sworn affidavit that has emerged from Kelsey Harris's former bodyguard, and it shatters the original narrative used to convict Tory Lanez. According to the testimony, Kelsey fired the gun, not Tory. Okay, so every man kind of touched on this, right, in terms of what more than likely happened, right? And he was saying that what you've seen going on is two friends staying up, being girls. And I asked this question the other day too. It's like basically I started realizing being a girl's girl is a very polite way. Because modern women love doing this shit, but they find polite ways to say fucked up things. But being a girl's girl basically means that, oh no, I can, if it's about men and it's for the sake of defending another woman, I'll be toxic. I'll even be evil. I'll be outright dangerous. If it means us versus the men. And especially for black women. When black women say that shit, what she's saying is, yo, fuck these niggas. I swear I care about everything but these niggas. I swear these niggas off the AK and done. And now for real, B-Dubs, the way they feel about you is Wayne's verse on Steady Mobbing. Okay, it's Steady Mobbing. You understand? Steady Mobbing.
That's my shit. Play that. Little ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja.
All right. But that's how they feel about you, son. You're sure that you stable right now, son? Yo, she be giving you looks. It is a sickness of the highest order, and I do not enjoy it. So, anywho, the point that Angry Man was also making was the fact that basically, yo, that girls will hold each other down, and they will support one another's lives. Now, for the most part, people have pieced together that they started beefing and arguing because at that point Tory was dealing with both of them. So people have spoken about this, but I'm gonna go ahead and expand on what happened here from the male ego standpoint, right? So he is a short kink, right? Fat niggas and short niggas and niggas that wasn't really you're not used to a certain kind of attention. Me myself, I'm kind of in the middle of all that. I've always been a fat guy, but I've always been really handsome, so they don't matter much. But I've always gotten a certain amount of attention, so I'm kind of used to attention to the point where like it was weird to me when I wasn't getting as much attention, or like or people didn't make eye contact with me, or like when strangers stopped making eye contact with me as much. When I was young, I didn't realize this was girls shooting a shot when they make prolonged eye contact. And not gonna lie, it's just weird to just look at someone and not say anything. You don't really have to like say a lot. You can just say, "Hey, how you doing?" And But again, women are so manipulative. They're always trying to find ways to make you give confirmation. So one of the reasons why when women try to talk to you, or if they're interested in you, or sometimes they're trying to get your attention, they'll do shit like I'm just gonna lock eyes with you and you can do the rest. When she's doing that, she's basically making you do the work, and that's another reason why like women, a lot of especially like attractive women, don't do very well with dating because they're especially not going to know how to do the woman's side in terms of being a part of giving this some kind of fucking momentum, right? Because for the most part, for men, and that, it's not every man, but for men for the most part, if the woman shows interest and he likes her, for the most part, it's on. Unless he's a guy that maybe, he gets a lot of girls. But that guy, I'm gonna be real with you. That guy is gonna be 1 in 500 guys. He's not as common as you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, or I'm sorry. The only time that can be the most true is when the guy's younger. Like when he's younger than like 25. You know what I'm saying? Around that age, like younger than 25. You know what I'm saying? Or like around 25. Because that's when your hormones are at its highest level. For the most part, the worst relationship you're ever going to be in is going to be the one you get into when you're younger. Because you have no idea. And you can get into being with someone you don't like the easiest when you're younger because you're still more distracted by your hormones and your need to have sex. To the point where like you don't realize, oh, you know what? Nah, I actually really don't like you. Sorry to go off on a tangent. But anywho, let's get back to this topic here. Congresswoman, Miss Luna, I see what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to hold, listen, she putting in work right now. Because the economy is getting crazy. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and read what Spiritual World said about this too. In a series of posts on X, Anna, I'm sorry. So AP, okay, I'm sorry. It's Anna Paulina Luna. I'm sorry about that. Anna Paulina Luna shared what she claims is a bombshell evidence in the case of Tory Lanez, who was convicted in the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. Excuse me. Referred to as Kelsey Harris in the affidavit. According to a new sworn affidavit from Harris's former bodyguard, alleges that Harris confessed to firing the gun during the incident, not Lanez. The bodyguard claims Harris fired 3 shots into the air during an attempt to de-escalate. He pushed her hand down, causing 2 more shots to fire accidentally. This account aligns with the Ring camera audio from the night, which captures 3 shots, a pause, and 2 more shots, but no mention of the phrase "dance bitch," which was a part of the original narrative. So, what they're talking about? Oh, can I? No. What's going on here? Oh, here we go. What they're talking about is that I'm sorry, I have a share. Sorry about that. What they're talking about is that Megan Thee Stallion actually said that Tory just cruelly, just because he's so cruel, shot at her feet and said, "Dance, bitch." First of all, No one would do that in real life. What real person would think to do that? Don't get me wrong. I know the nigga's short, but I don't think he that evil, right? Not only that, what would be his motivation for him to want to shoot at your feet? I mean, people really, including black men, people love to believe the worst about black men. You are willing to believe the most outrageous things about black men. He shot at her feet. Niggas saying Django? That sounds like some shit that Quentin Tarantino would write. You ninjas are amazing. Not in a good way. Anyway, Luna further highlights forensic evidence. The gun had 4 DNA profiles, 2 male, 2 female. But Lane's was excluded as a match for the magazine and the inconclusive for the gun itself, with only a 0.01% chance his DNA was present. No fingerprints from Lane's were found, while Harris reportedly had gunshot residue on her hands. Yet her DNA and fingerprints were never tested. Luna argues that this evidence, combined with the bodyguard's affidavit, suggests Lane's was not the shooter, calling his imprisonment a miscarriage of justice and urging for his release, tagging the California governor in her final post. I see what you're doing, Luna. You smart. You smart, you loyal. I like that. It's a major key. B-Dubs, you better watch out. You are officially at war. They're on your head. The Latinas are on your head. Listen. Maria is learning she's learning how to fry chicken, brothers. Brothers, she is learning how to fry chicken. Brothers, they are African and they are learning how to fry chicken. Okay? What?
Little ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja.
Crusty ninja? Fuck wrong with these niggas, man. Let me see if I got anything else. Oh, boom. Yo. I see what you doing, Paulina. I'm gonna get to what you're doing in a second. Don't worry. The cook will keep on cooking. Let's keep cooking. So, this is her actually on the Piers Morgan show, and she's giving her thoughts on this case, and let's get into it.
They actually did not choose to test the other 4 individuals there. No fingerprints found on the magazine. By any arguable case, if this was a murder trial, he would actually be acquitted because there is no evidence. So I'm all about the facts. And what I can tell you is that the evidence in this case overwhelmingly speaks to the fact that Mr. Lanes is actually being incarcerated, I would say, as an innocent man. And what I can tell you is, even to your question on what happened with who indeed may have pulled the trigger and, allegedly shot Megan Thee Stallion. Look, I don't know Miss Stallion, but what I can tell you is that the evidence says that there are no bullet fragments and that there are x-rays that the legal team, Mr. Lane's team, actually has that we'll be presenting. What I can also tell you is based on the evidence that I've seen, again, that number 0.01% DNA match, alleging that it's Mr. Lane's, when in actuality, they actually did not choose to test the other 4 individuals there. No fingerprints found on the magazine. By any arguable case, if this was a murder trial, he would actually be acquitted because there is no evidence. So I'm all about the facts. And what I can tell you is that the evidence in this case overwhelmingly speaks to the fact that Mr. Lanes is actually being incarcerated, I would say, as an innocent man. And what I can tell you is, even to your question on what happened with who indeed may have pulled the trigger and, allegedly shot Megan Thee Stallion. Look, I don't know Miss Stallion, but what I can tell you is...
I'm sorry, son. Keisha, you need to be afraid, okay? Because Miss Paulina, she met with the other Maritas. And this right here is them put their bid in to create the biggest surge in half black, half Latin people that you've ever seen at one time. Because that's what's about to happen. It's about to be like fucking Sweden, but like this version. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go like places like in the UK, it's like mad biracial people. It's a lot of biracial people. You know what I'm saying? It just seems I don't know. Maybe it just seems that way. I don't know. But that seems to be like a thing where that's a little more like accepted, like Denmark and Germany, places like, in Europe, like that's kind of a thing. Like it's kind of known. You know what I mean? They're not really shy about liking black men and whatnot, right? But anywho, sis, you gotta realize they ready, man. They ready. They putting their bid in. They basically saying to the brothers, listen, if no one else cares about you, we care about you. Because again, it's my theory. I could be wrong, but Latinos be having at least 3 or 4 kids, right? And I think again, they have an influx of baddies, or at least attractive women. You know what I'm saying they got too many. They got too many. They're spilling over, and they can't have them out here homeless. But now, real talk though, shit's getting real out here, and yeah, you're gonna start seeing people like really be very very homeless. Okay, they're making it very easy to get you evicted. Okay, and it's I'm not gonna lie, that's something I think needs to change because it's gonna cause problems. Okay, like one of the reasons why they have Section 8 and stuff like that is because these people will be in the street and it causes more crime. So if you can get some of them housed, like I get it, you know what I mean. But the country's broke, so a lot of that stuff is gonna be a problem. But what will actually just fix all that stuff is if people started getting together again and stop living apart and being and really for the most part, yo, if you get with a modern woman in this era, it's really if you being honest with yourself in terms of like what you like and what you don't like, right? Or if you come at it with the same level of pessimism, you know what I'm saying, and critical thinking that a woman will come at the relationship with, you'll come to the conclusion of, yo, she gets way more stimulation out of this than me. She's getting way more out. If you're like a good dude, if you have anything going for yourself, she's getting way more out of it than you. She gets a lot of time from you, a lot of attention from you. She gets your money. You know what I'm saying? She gets you to spend money. She gets you to help her with jams. If she gets into a jam, you have to assist her with whatever she needs. If you her boyfriend, you kind of have to assist her with whatever she needs assistance with, especially within your power. Like you're like her genie. But like a reasonable genie, like, hey, I wish to go to the supermarket. You know what I mean? Like that may not be a big wish, but like a lot of people can't make that kind of wish. Like, oh, I wish to go to the supermarket, and someone's gonna say, okay, get in the car. Your wish is my command. It just doesn't. It doesn't happen. I didn't see it. Niggas always gotta show they teeth. What? Come on, man.
I snap my fingers. You forget that you were ever gay.
I was never gay.
Exactly.
Wait, no, stop.
Yes.
No, stop. You can't. I was never gay.
Okay.
No, I was never gay.
Sure.
So yeah, man. Yeah. So it's gonna be a lot of homelessness. It's gonna be a lot of brokenness, and the world has changed. I was telling my sister this earlier about you need to understand what's going on right now. You need to get yourself ready, and you're gonna need money. You're gonna need resources. You know what I mean? And like you need to be smart about things, right? And take advantage of your opportunities. And Latinas know, actually, all non-black women for the most part, they're starting to come to the conclusion of, I need to go find a man. And what's also going to happen is when it gets bad enough, when you get that, if you have that lens, you know what? Sidebar. A lot of women don't realize you don't have survival skills. Because if you had good survival skills, then your mind will go straight to, oh shit, I need a man. I need to do whatever I can to secure a man. The same way that to pay your bills, you think, I gotta get a job. I gotta do whatever I can do to get a job, and I need to go ahead and get it and hold on to that job. If women can't find themselves to have that same level of reasoning for relationships, when it is the most obvious solution if you can get into a relationship. For the most part, women get themselves out of relationships or they leave voluntarily. And again, part of that is because women have watched too much TV and reality TV and too many movies, and this affects all of us. We all have had programming, but women, it's different with them because they've come to treat life and important relationships as if they think it's a TV show, where it's gonna be multiple seasons and there's no real consequences because you don't feel consequences from a TV show or movie. You can't feel that. It doesn't really. That's not. No, I mean you can't feel the consequence versus when it's your actual life, right? And one thing I noticed that modern women hate They hate the idea of there only being one man for them, or one man who's going to love them deeply, or the man in front of them is the one who's going to love her the most here and now. Women will leave the man in front of them for a man they never met before and who doesn't exist. But no, but you're gonna start. I think at some when the women whose survival skills kick in correctly, where they see, okay, this is my best shot, because that's what survival skills are. What is my best choice, my best shot? I always tell that story about when I realized, nah, I can make a lot more money doing Instacart if I do things differently, if I adjust my strategy, if I try different things. And yo, for the most part, if I'm out there a lot, yo, I can make good money. So now I'm about to get a raise and an increase. So I should be getting back to making, making better money. Like again, I'm still been making money, but not the money that I'm used to making. You know what I'm saying? Because the economy getting tough, but also shout out to everyone who's been subscribing to the channel and watching the content, man. Shout out to y'all. Congratulations. Okay, babe. We're doing the show, okay? You know you can't come back in here, babe. Go sit in your room and watch the tablet. Okay, go in your room, okay? Alright, yeah, man, so they put their bid in real quick, man. Let's see what we got here, man. We already kind of deep into the show, man. I'm gonna take a quick break and come right back, alright? Alright, I'm back, y'all. I'm gonna try my best to rein this in. Cause I feel like there's so much to unpack with the Remy Ma and Papoose situation, man. So if you didn't watch my other episode on this conversation here, so if you're not familiar, so Remy Ma is a rapper from the Bronx. They are both artists from the 2000s. Both of these people were popping when I was in high school. I am going to be 38 years old this year, so to let you know how old these people are. But two very talented individuals. But this story is about their breakup, or pretty much the long kiss goodnight that they've been having for a long time with one another. So back in 2023, they all went viral because for an alleged physical altercation between Papoose and Easy the Block Captain. Now, Easy the Block Captain is an incredible battle rapper, one of the biggest names in battle rap. And one of the points I made was, men make a big sacrifice when you take any help from women. You almost, I'm sorry, if it's not a woman you related to, try your best to not try to get any assistance from women in general. By the time you're 18, you need to be working towards getting all your own everything, because again, it adds to your survival skills. Survival skills is you being able to identify your best move possible. One of my best moves possible was let me go back to my job. I know I can do that and earn a good salary throughout the day, and keep building this here. And I will always be able to do my content the way I want to do it. Go to work and earn multiple checks, and then take money from my job and from from this right here, and make the right investments and keep building. I've had to do so many things. It's like the situation I went through with my apartment. Yo, I got paid for all those days. My check not missing no money. I set myself up lovely. I want the young men watching. Even if you're not young, set yourself up lovely. You have to have that long-term thinking. Because the long-term thinking, you know what I mean, and the faith that, okay, if I do this now, my future will be better, and the future's always on its way. But what about your relationships? Most importantly, your relationship with the truth. The truth of the matter. When you don't have a good relationship with the truth, you're not able to see what your best option is. You're not able to see, what's my best choice? Well, what usually happen is you caught up in how you feel. One of the most important things about my experience was that I had to realize there's a difference in what's going on, what my next move should be, and how I feel. And I started realizing how I felt about things really limited my perspective on what life could be for me, and things like that. And it's really important for men to not be in their feelings. Because whether you realize it or not, that gives negative things in your life a lot more power. And it's really important for you to be able to move on from moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. It is not a high vibrational behavior to be stuck in moments. I'm talking about when you keep, bless you, when you keep replaying bad things that happen, you keep thinking about things that happened in the past, you keep thinking about things you can't change. Being emotional gets you to being obsessed with things you can't change. It's like a form of OCD, where you get obsessed with this one detail. Why is that? Keeps you in place. That's what that demon is. That demon is there to keep you in place to make sure that nothing good happens. And get you comfortable with doing nothing. At least not doing anything about the problem. No mind, man. I'm just doing a little bit of cook session. Alright. So, let's go ahead and get back to this conversation about Remy Ma and Papoose. So, before we can get into this, we got to get to the beginning of this right here. Don't leave your girl around me, you play it for real. Ask my nigga for real. So this is Papoose and Remy Ma on some news show. And she's promoting Chrome 23 at the time. At the time, it's a new female battle league. And basically, but at this point, by the time they're together all the time, it becomes more of an intergender battle league, which is nothing really wrong with that. Honestly, the whole idea of a female battle league is, for one, like, battle rap culture, I noticed, is that there's so many broke niggas and hood niggas in battle rap culture, especially those who are the most popular. So their ideas and their perspectives become popular and accepted, and what they kind of do is they can make the rest of us more like pieces of shit and make the rest of us less intelligent. Because you got to realize, if an unintelligent person is influencing you, what do you eventually become? Think about, hold on a second. Levi, you can't play that in here, man. Dad doing the show, okay? Either go into your room that I pay all this money for, all right, or you want to turn that sound off. I'll be I'm only gonna be cooking Remy and Papoose for a half hour. All right. You know what I realized too, y'all? I had to get my win back up with like doing shows. I had to like get my win. I've been so stressed out. I've been having so much shit going on. Yeah, I didn't realize how out of it I've been. I was That fact, you know what? I might have to do a video about this whole court situation. Now, I mean, I'm good and everything. I was straight, but like, yo, I know there's a lot of people out here, yo, that they don't even make enough money to even get through something like that. But anyway, so you see them on the screen right here. They kikiing. Look at the body language. They was already sitting close. First of all, I wouldn't want to sit that close to someone that I'm not dating. Okay, they knees is touching. You know what I mean? Not only that, this is a genuine smile. Okay, I always tell y'all, beware of the girl who lost weight, who was big and lost weight. Now, even when Remy was younger, right? Remy body wasn't this tight. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't this small actually. You know what I'm saying? This is now her weight has gone up and down over the last year or two and whatnot. But when she first came out of jail, she was a little bit heavier, right? And yo, when she came down, it really proves how someone could look totally different once you lose a couple of pounds. You know what I mean? Like, and it's also, it can speak to how good looking you are. If you can be really fat and still be handsome or still be pretty, that means you are really attractive. That means you have very nice features. If you're still, cause a lot of people, they start to look ugly because they too fat. Like people who are average looking, you know what I'm saying? They'll become ugly because they face it too fat. And then when they lose weight, that person is a lot more attractive. Cause like a lot of people can't take having an extra chin and still being attractive. Their features, cause again, it's like your features are distorted because you're too damn big. Like when I'm when I was way fatter, my eyes look really small. Like I look at old pictures of myself, I'm like, yo, I was so big that my eyes look smaller. You know what I mean? Like when I look at myself now, I'm like, oh, it's like all my features are like Like it feels like my nose is longer. It feels like my face is longer in general. It's weird. But anywho, um, so I was listening to Chris Unbiased. He was talking about this. I think one point he made, but I feel like the point he made about her maybe feeling as though she didn't get a chance to experience youth, and I gotta challenge that because Remy wasn't 17 years old when she went in. This whole concept that women need to have this time of exploration is not necessarily the healthiest thing because it's not helpful to her. She's not going to love her husband more because she's been with more men. That's just not how women are. You know what I mean? I think again that's television and TV and movie programming where women can have flings and have relationships, and again, you can't feel what the main character is feeling. When anyone has a negative breakup, that is like a traumatic experience because you always, especially if you really care for the person and y'all break up in a way that wasn't, how can I say, it wasn't mutual. It wasn't like mutually agreed upon, or it wasn't like a conversation. If you don't break up, it wasn't a situation where y'all both have closure. It's just like you just broke up type shit, right? Hope that makes sense. But yeah, when people go through stuff like that, they don't forget about that. It can have a very negative impact on you and change the way you see the world and you see other people. It's a very serious thing, right? But anywho, so I wanted to go to that point because I think what also went on here in terms of how because people always want to understand how she wound up or what made her want to deal with Easy the Black Captain. Now again, a very talented artist, but again, like I said before, you always going to lose when you get help from a woman because people do not know him. People outside of the culture of battle rap don't know him that way. They don't know him for his talent. They know him for being the home record, you know what I'm saying, as they perceive it. They know him for getting knocked out by Pat Poose, you know what I'm saying. They know him for being a side nigga, you know what I'm saying. Like that's not only that, they call him T-Move Pat Poose. Call him bootleg Pat Poose. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so that doesn't really help us. And now people know who you are, but you know, for better or worse, Easy has become one of the most famous battle rappers in the world. But that kind of press is damaging because when anyone tells a story, there's no one speaking positively about him or speaking in his favor. So therefore, it makes him look like he's a clown and not to be taken seriously. You know what I'm saying? So there's the sacrifice. Now, at the same time, the lead that Remy Ma has, he has been able to benefit from, and he has been able to propel his battle rap career to the point where he doesn't need URL, which is the premier battle league in battle rap. You know, in terms of having the biggest matches, biggest events, things of that nature, right? So when he left left that league because of contract problems, because he wanted to be on YouTube and he wanted to be able to promote himself and basically get more promotion so that he can do stuff outside of battle rap. And the fact that was even an issue proves that URL decided that they would make it a part of their business model to make sure the artist can never really become famous from the platform. And that's another reason why battle rap dies because we're not producing superstars. All genres, all art dies if you don't keep producing superstars. That's why hip hop is done. Because we didn't produce any more superstars. Not a superstar that has the kind of global, like we don't have a new Drake yet. So if Drake retires or Drake passes away, right? There's no one to take his place. There's no one that has that's who's able to make records on that level and be able to get other people hot. Because that was always a part of it too. Is that he's a whole stimulus package where this. Because again, not always, but you need a kind of artist who can do a feature and get on another artist's song. Because what happens is it makes it to where we can keep shining light on the next artist. That's one thing that hip hop showed us. I mean, people collaborated, but hip hop is heavy on collaboration. That's such like a normal thing that goes on. But anywho, it's hard to know where to begin at. Let's go ahead and just run through some clips, man. So this is Pat. So Papoose went live a few days ago and whatnot to set the record straight. Remy had mentioned the family. So basically, Remy had put up a post where she basically was referencing how old Clarissa is, right? So Clarissa Shields is who Papoose is dating right now. She's a professional female boxer, okay? And I think Remy needs to steer clear. She needs to really watch herself. I feel like she need to, you know what I'm saying? Just need to watch that shit. All right, because man, listen, I ain't gonna lie. Now that I'm thinking about it, I halfway do want to see him scrap. But anywho, this all started with Rem pretty much trying to do a smear campaign on Papoose. So one thing that black women seem to really enjoy doing in relationships is giving you the enemy experience. For whatever reason, black women think that like even to a point where they think being rude to you and saying like slick shit to you is flirting, and because in their mind they think that, oh man, you know, they think that they punch you in the shoulder, and it's like, nah, nigga, that's not a turn on. Like you being to see you next Tuesday is never a turn on. Like niggas never say, ooh, I love it when, you know, you make me feel disrespected. Oh no, that's not a thing. That's not a thing.
Just
had my back.
Know what's going on.
They never had my back.
You told me how much you wanted to take.
They never had my back.
Never had my back, son. You know what I'm saying? Like men don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, so she started going on a smear campaign, and like I just mentioned, like they think that, especially when y'all breaking up, it can't just be peace. It can't just be, all right, yeah, you know what I mean? Unless she really got over on you. That's the only way that she ain't gonna try to kick you back in public and whatnot. They cannot resist basically dragging your name through the mud, or basically attacking your character and making people think poorly of you, even if you didn't do anything. Right? When women tell stories, and this is tough, men have to understand. You gotta think about when you were younger and when you was in trouble and you was afraid to tell the truth, and you felt yourself lying a little bit or embellishing a little bit or trying to convince the person that you were in the right. And when you were doing so, you might have felt like, oh, I'm kind of lying. That's not exactly true. Women, that's how they communicate. They can't help but to tell the story in a way where you relate to them more. You understand, or you want to support them more. Cause that's why she's telling you the story to begin with. Men don't be getting that. So men aren't able to hear, okay, all right, but what part did you play? Because a lot of times, especially, you know, when it comes to dating, right? A lot of times by the time you get to a woman, she's already had experiences. And up until now, I feel a lot of us will fall for a woman telling the story in a way where you kind of want to save her, or we kind of want to be the one to give her a different experience. What you got to understand is everything is not for everyone, and sometimes people are just meant to play a certain kind of role. Because men are expected to constantly improve and change. They don't realize that women don't have that same inclination to keep improving and keep changing and keep. Well, really is it's really adapting. You know what I'm saying? Men continue to adapt, and continue to try to elevate in some kind of way. Because also you're expected to continue to elevate, and so especially financially, up until a certain age, you're expected to keep making more and more money. You know what I mean? But anywho, let's go ahead and share. This is Papoose's response to Rem, just trying to make him look crazy. Matter of fact, I want to play a little bit of this live. I didn't really get a chance to play it yesterday, but let's play a little bit of this live real quick.
Come on. Woo.
What you doing there?
Oh, I'm never posting nothing because people don't understand. When I type shit out and when I write shit, they don't understand.
You doing that live?
I am live as we speak. When I type things in, people don't understand. Turn that camera on, ugly, and tell your lies. Don't type your lies. Tell them. Speak while people talking to you. You read the comments. You can't keep up with them if you do that, right? I'll wait. Because I've been sitting by my phone all fucking day because I know you can't take the L. You can't take the public people not on your dick. You can't take that, right? Every time you come up, mentions me, says anything, or do anything that I don't like, every time your current come up situation, I'ma drag you. And every time you bring your little girly self on here and saying something, I'ma drag you. Every time, Willie. I'm gonna drag you every time, Willie. Every time. I was just trying to get back with you yesterday. Get back with what? Get back with what? How the fuck would I be trying to get back with you, sir? Stop lying to these people.
Give me a second, babe.
Did y'all look at the date on that file? Oh, it's so easy to file. He filed that today. He filed this today. Who gave you the money? They gave you the money. You should be look at me, doing you favors again. I got y'all lit. All the blogs pick y'all up. You can use all my perks, all my front row perks, all my jewelry perks, all my jacket perks.
So this is her basically responding to the live that Papoose did. So originally, Remy Ma had posted a pawn, basically like a pawn store receipt and whatnot, and she's basically saying, she's alluding to the fact that he pawned off her bracelet to get some money. You know what I'm saying? And which is just, this is like super duper low. And that's what I'm talking about. So whenever somebody wants to assassinate your character and make you look as though that you ain't got shit going on, and even Kristen Bias was saying this, like Remy is, again, this is your husband. This is somebody you was married to, and you're getting online and you're talking about this man like he ain't nobody, like he ain't shit. And whenever someone wants everyone else to think you ain't shit, that's an attack on you. And a lot of men, again, because we don't relate to it, you can't really relate to the idea of, nah, she's doing that to hurt him. She's doing that because she hurt. Okay? When women are masculine like this and they're controlling like this, and again, like I said before, women who've been very heavy or been heavy before and lost weight and they're not used to a certain kind of attention, because look, Remy was never like slim like that. Remy was always like, all right, no, she was cool. You know what I'm saying? But she was never a baddie. You know what I mean? And, you know, when she got out of jail, makeup technology had gone to a different level. And on top of that, like, beautifying in general is different. There's more surgeries you can get. You know what I'm saying? So everyone gets a nose job. So, yo, you ain't got to stay ugly. You know what I mean? Like, when you see a celebrity, you cannot put your finger on what's different about them. It's usually because they got a nose job. And they got little facial surgery. Like, symptoms, like totally slowly changed overnight to the point where you don't realize, wow, you do look significantly different. Like, this person like really, and listen, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I believe, like, I think Remy had a nose job or something like that. I could be wrong, but I just noticed, you just noticed that, like, her features seem better. She just seems more attractive. So more than likely, that's also what it was about too. And that's another thing too. Tall women and overweight women and women who have masculine at all, they're almost always kind of promiscuous. They're always, I can't even tell you why, but I guess a part of it is insecurity, right? Because when people are insecure, they have this thing where they have to try to get attention from multiple people, like that, or they'll never, because they don't know when to stop, because they're not used to that kind of stimulation, so they don't really know. Nah, okay, this is where you draw the line at. And what will usually happen is things will get out of their control, and that might result in like cheating and being promiscuous. So Pat talks about that too. So we're gonna go ahead and play some of this live. So I'm gonna play this. I'll play this one first.
Talking all of this, what I don't got and what I got. Since I met her, I have written 90% of the rhymes that came out of her mouth. I'm gonna talk about all of this money talk and all of this, what I don't got and what I got. Since I met her, I have written 90% of the rhymes that came out of her mouth.
Let's go here. My bad. Let's go here.
Being taken care of, bills paid, and cheap. You know what person would do that? You. You. Everything will be fine. The entire industry and everybody.
All right, so there's a lot of stuff that Papoose talks about, but I think what would be good right here to get into is the hater in your bedroom. So I'm also going to speak on one other aspect of their relationship, right? Where I'm not sure what his I think Papoose is someone who is genuinely a good person. A lot of brothers be genuinely good people and they get into a relationship, right? And you got to realize that black men are conditioned to deal with bad behavior. And it's not until things get out of their control that they realize, this ain't no good. You know what I mean? And he even talks about, how like she's known for having a terrible attitude and being nasty and just not really being like the best person really, right? And a part of that is that most black men grow up thinking that they'll have a good life if they do everything the woman wants them to do, or if they show them that the woman's going to love them more if they show them how much they love them. That's not really how a woman's love works. It's not based off of reciprocation. It's based off of just how she feels about you, mostly. Because again, Drake is so many women that they always use the analogy of Drake, but let's say if Justin Bieber, there's so many women that Justin Bieber's never met that love Justin Bieber and they would do anything to be with Justin Bieber, and they've never met, they've never talked one time. But if she thought that killing this toddler would get her a marriage with Justin Bieber, it's a toddler that's going to be taken out of here tonight. Sorry. Justin Bieber. It's the Biebs. You know what I mean? And also, listen, I kid. This is all a part of my comedy routine. I do a comedy routine called the 6 Paths of Jovial Laughter and Excitement. You know what? Come on, man.
My back.
I know what's going on.
They never had my back.
He told me how much he wants to take you.
They never had my back.
I am the fucking clock. I've been doing this shit a long time. I posted this video.
You feel me? Alright, let's get into this clip shit right here.
With me, I believe her. You know what I'm saying? So I want to go with that. But you're right, though. Anything can happen. Oh, that shit gonna be 3 months, nigga. I don't know for how long it is. I got pictures, the texts, the videos of it. That shit gonna blow whenever I say it's gonna go. I'm talking about where I'm saying that news of cheating and all of that shit go anytime. It don't matter if it's a week or whatever. Like, the only reason why it's spark is because you.
Now bear witness to this. You just heard this
That nigga said bear witness.
lane who she was dealing with since 2022 say in his own voice, I got videos and pictures of us. That's going to go whenever I say so. I don't care if she go back to him. This cheating gonna go when I say so. This is the same recording when he was up there clout chasing.
Yeah, well, so far she's saying she fuck with me. I believe her. You know what I'm saying? So I want to go with that. But you're right, though. Anything can happen. Oh, that shit gonna be 3 months, nigga. I don't know for how long it is. I got pictures, the texts, the videos of it. That shit gonna blow whenever I say it's gonna go.
So Pap played that because Pap knew somebody who know him, and he's so fucking loose with his lips paused that he just telling his business and shit. He just put everything out there. Basically, So again, one of the reasons why a nigga had an issue was the fact that Easy kind of went around telling mad people that he smashing Rim. All while people think that these two are still married. It's one thing if it was known that they were separated and whatnot, or she could have made a statement saying, hey, y'all, listen, Me and Pap have been separated for a while. I'm not cheating on Pap. Me and Pap, but no, we're no longer in a relationship. We just haven't got officially divorced yet. She could have just said that. If that was the case and they together, she could have just said that. You know what I'm saying? But instead, I think this might be situations. Well, I'm sorry. So Pat was also saying that that Easy may have been blackmailing her. You know what I'm saying? Because of all this information that he has on her and whatnot. This is a really fucking weird story. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, it's so many damn twists and turns. But I am gonna land the plane in a second, but because I want to get into the hater in your bedroom. So another thing that goes on, right? And this is one of the things that you got to do when you a man. These are one of the reasons. Well, I'm sorry. When this happens, a lot of times this means you're not gonna make it. If there's something good about you or something that you're talented in or you're gifted in, if that woman doesn't show any interest in that, never asks you questions about it or never engages you in that, that's a form of hating. Because you be a real asshole if your woman is, I don't know, let's say she's into let's see. Just say she's a sneakerhead, and she goes to conventions. She has collectibles, and she travel. It's a really intense hobby for her, right? Imagine her doing that and being so serious about it. You know what I mean? Let's say she does contests, she designs. Imagine her doing all that shit, and you're her man, and you never talk to her about it at all. I don't mean you have to have an in-depth conversation, but just show this acts anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, like, so you imagine, I don't know, you imagine, you're going to a sneaker design competition, and when you get back, he's like, oh, how was it? Oh, it was good. Okay, all right, well, yeah. So about them Knicks. Nah, you do think he was a D head, but anyway. So Papoose is going to go into addressing these points about her trying to discredit him and make him sound like basically he's lame and has no emotion. And it's something that a lot of women who are narcissists, that's their go-to. Black women love doing this shit. Like they will be in a relationship and then try to talk about the guy they was just with as if like, oh my God, I can't believe. You know what I'm saying? Like I really have my ex do that. I'm like, fam, you gotta stop that. You gotta stop that. I could get you whenever I want to get you. Even today. I can still get you. I'm like, but I didn't understand that when people are embarrassed, when people feel as though they don't. There's another thing too. Modern women get very hostile with the less they have the upper hand with you, because especially black women, because black women feel as though they're supposed to control every part of the interaction when they deal with black men. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you are a character in her movie. Shout to CGA. You are a silhouette in her life. It's like, yo, when you learn about this shit and kind of notice it more, you start realizing, like, man, like, it doesn't make sense to be in a relationship because, like, yo, I mean, like, it's for most people, especially like modern women right now. Once I get past having sex a few times, because again, most of these chicks are saying, yo, I'm not doing nothing that's gonna make you happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that's really most men's like experience is that you get around someone who's telling you, hey, I'm going to make your life a living hell on purpose. And again, they're not saying those words, but they say it by talking about basically how they have bad character traits. I remember my ex would say stuff like, I don't have any patience. I'm impatient, and she would say it as if it was a character trait and not like a bad behavior. So that means you're rude. That means you give up easily. That means you're irritable. That's not a pop. Being impatient is not good. Like I'm like when, and as a matter of fact, and I got heard. I really had to. I remember I was having a conversation with somebody one time, and I think the word impatient. Let's say we were using the word impatient, and she brought the word impatient, and I think she again tried to kind of talk about it as if impatient was a positive character trait. I'm like, that's not a positive character trait. And I'm like, it was just stupid. It was just like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to go off on a tangent. But anywho, back to the hater in the bedroom and whatnot, right? So So I thought that kind of covered all bases with that. So I want to play this this part of live right here, right? So I want you guys to hear what he has to say.
And people allow it because some of them are groupies. Some of them are clout chasers. Some people, you know, they know the truth, but they act like it's not happening. By me knocking him out, it kind of put it out there, what's really going on. Also, she tried to fool y'all and say, what person would be in a marriage with a loving husband, being taken care of, bills paid, and cheat? You know what person would do that? You. You. Everything would be fine, and you would still violate. Because you know why? You can't keep your legs closed, Rem. That's one of the main problems with you. I could sit up here and run through your body count, but that's not what I'm going to do, because I'm not here to tear you down, and I'm not here to disrespect you. I'm not here to do that. But the fact that you mentioned my children and you fabricated after you have already been documented and recorded telling the truth about how I supported you when you was away. Telling the truth about our entire time together. But it wasn't good enough for you to move on and be an adult after you cheated. And I gave you numerous opportunities to stop the cheating. We went to a therapist. Why come on here and lie and say we haven't slept together since 2022? Why come on here and make it seem like that's true? We never had an agreement. Oh, you be with who you be with and I be with. We never had an agreement. All we had was you lying, saying that you're not with him. Why would you deal with him? That's all we had. And when I found out the truth that you were with him, you said, let's go to therapy. And I agreed. Then we made an agreement with the therapist. You violated the agreement again. So when I caught him, I knocked him out. Wherever I would have saw him at, I would have knocked him out. You so mad at me because I knocked him out at your event. Anywhere I saw him at, he was getting put down. And I told you this. I still got the messages telling you this. So all of this fabrication, all of these stories about me, my children, all of these stories about money. I paid every bill in that household. I did nothing but buy you gifts. It's photos and everything of it. It's all on my page. Never trust a celebrity who erased their Instagram. They hiding from something. It's still here. Me buying her gifts. All that materialistic. If you notice, her entire thing was about materialism. Just fabricating. She just recently told me she don't got no money. So what you talking this money talk? Hey, this is what I got in my account. Let's keep it a buck. So you want to fabricate these stories. I don't have to fabricate to impress anybody. Everybody knows I'm a hard worker. Everybody know I came from the bottom. Everybody know I went from artist, transition to executive. All of the times y'all see me support this woman, any song, any video she dropped, show me one post of her saying, subscribe to TuneCore. Show me one. Just show me one. Show me one, guys. When I drop the album every month, every single month.
First of all, with y'all both being artists, yo, that should been a way bigger problem. That's what I'm talking about. Black men are raised to think that loving a woman this way is how you're supposed to be in a relationship. And this is a part of how when we realize that we don't really know how to be in relationships. A lot of black men don't realize that because you think that your job in a relationship, no, your job is out there in the world. You know what I'm saying? Not that you're not supposed to take care of one another and nothing like that. But my point being is that you start putting effort into things that don't really matter. It's just like I always talk about like with guys. I realized like when I became more popping and like start have my own spot, driving to better places, having way more emotion. Start realizing that girls don't be caring whether or not I go down on them. You know what I'm saying? Like to the point where like it never comes up. It's never a problem. It's never a complaint. Where like I started kind of noticing like like she seems way more into pleasing me than I am pleasing her, and that's because because sex is a reward, right? So he's about to get into how he has been one of the biggest contributors and supporters of her as a person. And again, a lot of times women, again, there's so many parallels between how women think and how kids think. You know what I'm saying? It's the same as when kids don't realize, no, you have this because your parents love you. not because that's just what it is and what you deserve. No, your parents decide to give it to you, right? And from all successful women, most successful women are successful mostly because, well, at a very high level, a lot of times there's always some help from a man, right? Especially in hip hop, like women can't really flourish in hip hop without men writing some of the bars or writing the bars. All the women that's successful in hip hop, they had help, right? Or they had at least the influence, right? Like Nicki had Wayne, you know what I mean? Foxy had Jay, Kim had Biggie. You feel me? So I'm not on cooking whatnot, but basically he's going to get into the hater in your bedroom, right? And Remy was the hater in his bedroom.
As the year progressed, the producers and the artists grew higher and higher and higher. By the time I got to the end of the year and I caught that feature with Lil Wayne, she ain't come home no more. She started staying out. There are people very close to you. When you did that, they said, Pat, we know her for a long time. Don't pay her no mind. She's only doing that to throw you off of your grind. She see you finally about to be successful again, bro. It's been a long time. You deserve it. You know what she did? Start staying out, not coming home. So I could go on and on about her. She could fabricate any lie she want about me. Any lie she want to fabricate, she could fabricate. I wrote 90% of the music since I've been with her. And if you come around me and you type a keyword from any one of her verses, it pops up in my phone with the date that I wrote it. So all of this money talk on that aspect, that's cap. You talk about me buying you gifts. You try to say in the past, oh, he don't buy gifts. That's documented. You walk around with thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of jewelry that I bought every single day. You talking this jewelry talk. First and foremost, I have a cash business. So there's numerous times where I cashed you out and you went and bought things. With my money. With my money. You want to talk about property? We bought this house together. We bought it together. We bought it together. I wrote one of your biggest records, man. One of your biggest hits. So you want to downplay me as an artist when I wrote one of your biggest hits. That's so sad. But like I said earlier, the fact that you chose to mention my kids, that's why I responded on this video. As far as the divorce, like I said, she never wanted to get a divorce. She never wanted to divorce.
All right, we're going to stop it right there for right now, man. We got about an hour and a half in. So the post he's talking about is when basically she goes through the ages of all his kids and how close in age they are to Clarissa. First and foremost, this is what it is when it comes to age gap dating. And women don't like this. When the woman is of age, it doesn't matter how old your other kids are. That is an adult. Okay? Now, of course, naturally, even when people do age gap dating, it's generally between 7 to 15 years, in terms of the gap and whatnot. But that's a grown up. That's irrelevant. First of all, Easy's younger than her. Okay, now he's of age, obviously, but he's younger than her. Like, she's about to be, I think, 45. You know what I'm saying? And I believe me and him like the same age. Well, he might be a little younger than me. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But either way, but so I believe it's that. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, this whole thing of her trying to make him look like he ain't got shit going on, and that's always the go-to with women, especially if y'all live together, is that they want to make it seem as though you're struggling. My nigga, I ain't gonna lie, Rem, you did do that live in the mall, in the food court. That's a little grimy, man.
Joe! You think I have somebody I love in the bricks?
All right, man. I am tired as hell, man. So I gotta go.
Niggas always gotta show they.
Subscribe to the channel. Love y'all, man. Be safe.